Okay, so I'm in Macau, and I'm not too far from San Malo, basically in the San Malo area. There's all these little patios in here, and there's some interesting things when you explore a patio. This particular patio is called Mainato. And a few things I just want to point out real quick. Sometimes you see things like this that you don't expect. It's a coffee shop, and there's a rooftop, and you can even see an umbrella up there. And there's a lot of little rooftops in this little alley, and that also comes up to a biblioteca, library. So we're just going to explore this little bit of an alley, and we're going to capture some other alleys around it, and this is going to be our grounding alley that we're going to put everything else together with. And just so you can get some context, there's some kind of historic. Macau is up there, St. Augustine's Square. Got some other alleys, and this goes down, and there's Rua de Felicidade, which is basically where the red light district used to be, and the entertainment district. So we're going to tap into a little bit of what's around here, and this will be our grounding focused patio. Stay tuned. Hey, check it out, Macau 2023. Check out some more streets. It's kind of interesting. As people are walking down, they're kind of seeing what I'm filming and seeing what I'm doing down in here. But a lot of these alleys, a lot of people don't really go down them because they're not a thoroughfare. They actually have an ending. And what's interesting about this little area is it all comes up against this, up here, there's a few things going on up here. There's a seminary, there's a biblioteca, which was a public library. And they come up with this wall right here. And if we were to walk into there, these buildings look over into the courtyard of that library. Used to be a garden, and it used to be a prominent Hong Kong businessman who came over here during World War II. Because in World War II, Japanese occupied, that's kind of cool right there too, these rooftops. If you look up in Macau, there's just so many interesting things. So that rooftop, I've seen these little plants in Columbine as well. They'll grow pretty wild. And then you got just other random rooftops like those. A lot of these buildings have like a extra one added on that's not legally supposed to be there, which looks like to be the case with this one anyways. And those shed ones up there as well. But yeah, we're coming up against this wall. This wall probably has a lot more history, but I also wanted to point out another wall over here, just to kind of add to that story again. Let me just kind of check this wall out real quick. It's like a lot of mold. This other wall, I'll explain it when we get up there, but this is just kind of a normal wall. Actually, you can see bricks in this wall as well, but this is going to be in contrast to the one up there. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, up there's a prominent businessman fled Hong Kong when Japan occupied it. Macau was filled with refugees, and some of the more prominent ones, like that particular one, his name is Sir Robert Ho Tung. I might not have that 100% accurate, but the library is named after him. So if you look up libraries, you'd see him. I'm just gonna come over here real quick. I just want to share with you a few patios real quick before we move on. So we have more alleys like this, and they also come up to other buildings that are up against the wall as well. This one looks more like it has more history to it. The reason I want to mention that real quick is when I look at Sao Paulo ruins, there's these old walls, and if you touch this, it like kind of comes off. So like at Sao Paulo ruins, they say like do not touch it. This is kind of a little bit different texture, but it feels like the Sao Paulo ruins, which is like made out of like very old, like there's like oyster shells mixed in with some kind of certain mixture, and I kind of wonder if this one might have that too. This feels totally different though. This just is like cement, but this exterior has a different texture. And I also just want to come into another patio because all these patios have some history to them. And this one right here, the Cules, those are all the indentured servants. And they were sent to the New World historically. And then you can still see part of the patio up there. And you know what? I think there's a lot of different directions I can go in this particular situation. But I feel like I should probably go up to the library and then just film down into this area. So let's do that.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. So, okay, so we're gonna let her go by.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So they got kind of a steep hill right here. So I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna walk a little bit like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back to our target street, which is Pátio do Mainato. And I'm gonna walk up there and I'm gonna film coming back down. So we're gonna go in that direction. And then we're gonna go towards St. Augustine so you can get an idea of that plaza as well. Then you can also see all the stuff that's along the way. Here we go. So this one's actually kind of interesting. This is a Patio de Capoeira. So it's talking about the Brazilian martial arts. And you can have quite a bit of information about it. Enclosed communal courtyards. Capoeira. So this one is actually another one. I'm going to walk into Capoeira as well. And then you can see this blue wall right there. So we're actually going to be trying to look down. We'll see how close we can get to look down. So that's the Patio de Capoeira. Huh, I didn't know that was named after the... Never really noticed that one before. So, okay. Legs, horse head, decoration of the wall, okay. So kind of interesting. We also have it in Portuguese and in Chinese. You got a little restaurant right here. So basically what we're going to do is walk through St. Augustine's. By the way, this is one of the only Dutch architectural buildings in Macau. And it's right there. Okay, there's a nice proper angle. But yeah, you'll also notice the roof is kind of built for the European Dutch style. And there's a flat. This is, I think there's something to do with snow, the way that it's built. Something to do with colder climates. It's kind of interesting. It's right next to this other building that has a nice rooftop. Kind of typical Macau rooftop. So anyways, our purpose now is to show you a little bit of St. Augustine Square. And then we're going to go into that library over there. I got to get across the street because there's a giant guy with a box here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go, nice image. We're gonna go into the library, and then we're gonna overlook those patios. So we had Patio Mainato and Patio Capoeira. Sir Robert Holtung. So yeah, those patios, they basically like have little courtyards that's specific to the person living there. I'm gonna see, I'm gonna walk over this way. I don't think I can go down this way, but I do want to see. So that just goes there, okay. Actually, this has some nice courtyards too. And when this particular gentleman from Hong Kong, when this was his private residence, so he had his own courtyard as well. And then he donated it to Macau government, which made it into a library. Cantonese opera. I think today's the last day. Okay. opens up into this nice courtyard. So I believe this would have been his house, and then this would have been all the new additions, which has there's English books are up on the 4th floor, I believe. Yeah, these are the foreign books. This is a bit of history. Anniversary 1894. Purchased by Sir Robert Hotong in 1918, died in 1956. Donated it to Macau, part of UNESCO. And then we're gonna go this way. I guess I should show you the library as well. I've seen this artwork in many places in Macau. They draw it at another location, they paint it. So over here we're looking down into the patios. I don't think I can go in there. But yeah, you can see the, I think this is Cules one right here, and then Mainato would have been right next to it. So the reason I'm saying that is because I remember this building right here. Because we were looking at the wall. You can also see the imprint in there of another building that's no longer there. Let's just go down a little bit. I don't think we're going to get a very good view from here. Here we go. So those are those patios. So, okay. So hopefully that's kind of interesting video. Just to give you some context. If we go down the same hill, then like this would be where the churches and the seminary, more prominent things up on the hill. So let me pause here, and I'm going to go back to our target spot. Yeah, there's a lot here to be said. So yeah, they just talk about how these patios, it's interesting, I didn't really realize this. The earliest records is a street in province of Macau and Timor in 1869. So in 1925 they started creating these little patios, and they basically just put like little row homes in them, made a little community, and they could hang out, and they also gave them security, gave them a little bit of outdoor and social activities, and then they have a traditional pitched roof, chitao legs or horse head, which is the, okay, I think that must be that must be those. So I think that those right there are the horse head. Okay. They also got older styles too, like that particular house right there, that yellow house. So let's try to imagine Macau historically. So basically behind us would be, there's actually a row of churches. There's a street called Hua Central back there. It's down the hill a little bit. Here's our original patio right here. So then we would have these, like these, you know, different things like this. There's a seminary on this other side. There's a theater up on the hill. There's a nice church up at the top. And then these little patios, I guess, would be people that maybe created these little homes in these little areas like this. And we have one of those right there with the horse head, they call it. So we have several of those. And so it looks like this whole area has those. And now they're built with tall buildings. But in the past they would have been, I think they would have been more like these homes right here. These, I think they call it like a Chinese home, Chinese style roof. So they would have had more of those, and then they've gradually replaced them, but the substance of them still exists. can go down this way. And then the interesting thing about this is right over here it's called Rua de Felicidade, which I'm going to film in a moment. But Rua de Felicidade is basically where an entertainment district was at. So it's interesting, like the juxtaposition between the two. Let's see, I guess I need to wait for people to come by. There's also a car going by as well. Okay. Little corner restaurant there. So I'm just going to end this video down by here, down by this entertainment district, historical entertainment district. Now it's not like that anymore, but historically it would have been Rua de Felicidade. So these little patios are not too far from there, but we have patios pretty much everywhere in Macau. But it's interesting just thinking about the size of places, you know, like how people would get around historically. And then this is the Rua de Felicidade, which is pretty famous for, they had entertainment here. Basically women were like geisha, they would be trained in poetry. Ah, okay, they're actually building some stuff down here. There's some rabbits down there. I think I'm gonna film this street separately and I'm gonna have to come down at nighttime, but anyways, I'm gonna do a separate video for this street. But anyways, you know that it's here and it's not too far from the patio, so I think that's gonna be a good ending spot for us. So basically those patios were directly up that hill a little bit. So I think we're gonna end it right there. Hey, check it out Macau 2023. Check out some more streets.